Hi, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Amanda, and this is the Pursuit of Badasserie, the podcast.
This podcast is all about taking action and creating that badass business abundance and life that you want.
Where we share stories, laughs, wins, and epic fails to show you the whole picture of the entrepreneurial journey.
It's not just unicorns and rainbows, people.
Jump on and follow us through this raw and witty roller coaster,
where we get down and dirty and go behind the scenes of life and entrepreneurship.
Get on it,
get over it,
and get after it.
Hey, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Amanda. Welcome to the Pursuit of Badasserie, the podcast. We are back with another incredible guest. Lynn, tell us all about her.
Yeah, let's welcome Alicia Branham, the marketing powerhouse with a story beyond business savvy. Her journey reflects adaptability, determination, traits cultivated during her formative years when her parents uprooted her to Uruguay. She is a marketer and creative director on demand, and we are super excited to have Alicia. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, ladies, for having me on. I'm incredibly excited to be on your badass show.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit how you got started in this world that you're in now.
Sure. I, since birth, have always been hugely creative person, always wanted to paint, draw, always just that kid. In high school, when I was still living in the United States, I had my first art class. I was finally away from Catholic school and a public school, and they had an art program because it wasn't a Catholic school with a limited budget. And I really loved it. And then I got uprooted to Uruguay. And then was fortunate to have an art class there that allowed me to pursue my interests and study different artists and styles. And I remember wanting to go to art school and being told I couldn't and got laughed at and saying, who's going to pay for that when I asked my parents about it. And so it just was always a gnawing thing at me. And so I started my journey just in the business world as a files clerk, and then realized when computers came out that there was a thing called graphic design, and that you could go and kind of like do things on a computer and not have to like do the old style linotape and all the crazy ass things that used to happen back in the old school days. And I took an interest. And so I went back to school in the 90s to be a graphic designer. And then from there, I started acquiring jobs in different industries that gave me more and more industry knowledge in what I do. So my highest position, which started me in my career, was I worked for a really large valve manufacturer. Okay, in the PVF industry, pipes, valves, and fittings. I know it's obscure, but I niched down. This is a really lucrative market. These people are super nice. I learned so much because it's what makes America go around. So I landed in an industry that taught me so much about running an entire marketing department that I built from scratch, that I took all of that marketing savvy and knowledge that I gained in that industry, and I had to learn about all these products, what they did, where they went, our customers. I took it all and I created a business that served people inside that lane. And so right now I got really tired of working for someone else, and I saw the need inside of the industries that I was working in. And so when I parted ways with that company, because they kept changing managers like their underwear, and it gets unpleasant when you're in that corporate space, right? And I said, you know what? I'm going to take a bet on me. I kill myself for these folks. They don't seem to appreciate it. I'm going to go and serve the small business owner in my best capacities to help them crush, win, and gain market share in the areas they work in, because I work all over the country. And it's been a winner chicken dinner, and I'm going on 7 years. I have 3 U.S. employees, foreign contractors, and I just keep growing. So that's kind of why I started and where I've been going.
I love that. When we were reviewing your bio, we were talking about it because I have trades background. I own a security company and was in the alarm industry. And so being a woman in that industry, and I own the company, like, it's very unique. And so when I saw that you were HVAC and the pipes fitting and whatever, PFV, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, she's like from my hood, essentially. And I love that you niche down as well, because it makes it super unique. You stand out, and you absolutely are, because you do have all of that knowledge, and you were one of the originals, obviously from your story of like learning learning that kind of that world, the marketing and the design world. I know that you're like killing it for your clients because you just bring a unique taste, and it is a male dominated industry. And really with marketing, I will say, and please, my fellow male marketers out there, take this with a grain of salt. I definitely feel like women's touch in marketing is very different than a male's touch for both female and male dominated industries. And I feel like overall, generically, women are more creative. They have a different eye than men. And so I can only imagine the value that you're bringing to your clients.
You know, it's funny that you actually bring that up. So when people land on my calendar, they know me because they know me from my job at the big valve company, because they would all come to me and need support, or because I would do the co-op programs. My marketing budget was $2 million. I ran a lot of lanes. And so and because I can't say no to people that are trying to help sell our products. And if they're making money on commissions, then isn't it my job to serve? And so I've always had that mindset, you know, and that, so like when you work with me in my space, it's like I'm like Kevin Bacon, except it's like maybe 2 layers of how you get to me. So either somebody knows me that's working with me, or you know me because of where I worked. It's one or the other, honestly, because I worked for a high profile manufacturer. And these men that I serve, what they're realizing more and more is that women crush it in their lanes. And they tell me, women, I have one client, this is a quote, women just get shit done. That's a quote from a client, because he just hired himself an assistant finally after like I've been working with them for like 4 years, right? Because I'm your marketing department, right? So for the clients I serve, if you need like a website, you know, creative work, branding, you need 3D automation, you need 3D graphics for your products, and you can't do a photo shoot because it's just different. It's just, anyway, I bring all of that to the table to save you time, energies, and monies. And it's just really, honestly, the way I approach serving my clients in every lane is really paying off for me. And they're seeing the benefits. More and more, the industry's chipping away at elevating the ladies, in all honesty. But I've been in it since 2009. I've been in the valve space since 2009. Brand started in 2017, right? So I've got some time here. And these people in this industry are lifers. So when I work here, I have warm calls. There are warm calls for me. They're never a cold call. They never are. It's been a blessing. I feel very blessed to build what I'm building right now.
No, I love that. You also have that. I mean, we were having the conversation before, but you also have that, and Amanda and I do too, like that. I'll call it the edge about us. You know, it can be somewhat generational, but also like the shit done, like the lifestyle, what we were talking about earlier, like we earned our life. We put in the work. We didn't have somebody coddling us. We didn't have that to back up our lives. Like we didn't have the home to run home to. And so we had to make it. Right. And so I have always found that, and Amanda does too, as like a true asset, like that hustle, that grind that we really learn to do to really make a name for ourselves. You have that. And especially in this industry, in the trades industry, it is uber important to, in my opinion, to definitely show up with that. And I'm sure it adds to the success and the reliability of your business direction.
It does. I feel really grateful that I can offer really great solutions to any crazy problem or something that any of my clients are doing, whether it's like packaging design, because I do that too. My team does that too. So even if it's packaging design and you need it to be one color, you need to be as badass as possible, right? Because you want it sticking out on a shelf in a warehouse. Like I'm so forward thinking in all the things I do because I know that marketing and investing monies in building your systems, processes, and procedures and your brand inside of your business, it's an investment. It costs money, but I've learned from experience, if you try to cheap out, if you try to do it for yourself when you don't even really know what you're doing yourself and your business and your clients that you serve a disservice by trying to wear all the hats. Right? I mean, we know that, right? We all use professionals for specific areas inside of our businesses because we just know that you're better served getting assistance from a pro, right? You know, that's just the way it is. So
They always say like it costs money, but it costs money because it saves money. It costs money because it saves money. It saves time. It saves headache. And that's what you're paying for. You're not just paying extra dollars. You're paying for the convenience, for the expertise, for all the things that come with that. So if you, as working in marketing, what do you think are like the top things that every small business should be considering when they're looking at their marketing suite?
Sure. First and foremost, I believe that everyone needs to, one, don't be afraid to just start your online marketing conversations. Two, I really want to stress this enough. AI is going to take over a lot of things that we all do. And so she's laughing. So I, as a business owner, have been embracing AI and all the different levels of it, because I want to be on the forefront of using that to serve me and my clients to the best of my ability, so we can make it work for us versus it taking away our jobs. So I feel I'm very compelled in this lane and right now inside of my business to talk about this. So I'll give you a crazy example. I made a commitment to myself as a business owner this year that I was putting 2 blog posts up on my website a month. Every image that's on my blog are going to be created by AI. So whatever image that I choose is 100% AI. And then I notate where I made it from, whether I did it through, GPTs that you could pull up Dolly, or if I did it through like Midjourney, right? Because I'm really embracing that. So I can now take that to the industries I serve that I'm sure you understand. Some of the industries we serve maybe are my industry, 5 years behind in tech. So if I'm getting on it now and I'm mastering it now, and I'm embracing automation and how it can serve and create that personal touch inside of your business, whether it's through having a robust CRM program, right? Or using all these automations or these AIs to create all these different wonderful things for you, help you create copy for your emails, for your landing page. Oh my gosh, it could take your terrible text, your terrible that you think is terrible. You can plug it into your GPT and create something beautiful and not have to stress about it. There's just so many ways that us as business owners can just, I guess that's my biggest thing, is like, don't be afraid to embrace the new. And if you don't know, go put yourself in a circle where you're going to learn and hear about it, because that's how you're really going to win. Right. So that's my big focus right now, is all about embracing automation and AI in my business, so I can grow and scale myself to be a $15 million a year business. And you're not going to do that by not automating your processes, because I don't want to have 100 employees. I don't know many people that want to. It's a big nightmare. The people that do, God bless you. I want to cap out at 10.
Yeah, no kidding. I think I stopped at 50. So one thing that cracks me up about this is you talk about embracing AI, and as it's changed, I mean, we're not spring chickens. We're not 18 understanding AI. But the first time I was introduced to technology, you're talking about how you started out in graphic design back in the 90s. When I first took graphic design in the 80s and 90s, I thought it was like never going to take off. Like, oh, who's going to have computers in their home? Like, we had huge supercomputers back then. Like, for all you youngins, people didn't have computers in their homes or like carried them around with their phone. So I didn't think it was going to be a thing. It's like this time around, now that like ChatGPT has taken over, Midjourney, you're talking about those, I'm not going to miss out on it the way I did back in the 80s and 90s, where I was like, that's never going to take off. Like, no, I think now we're firmly established that digital technology has changed. And if you don't get on the bandwagon with this, I mean, I'm not saying you have to do everything that exists in the world. That's not feasible. But get your systems up to check and embrace automations, embrace some of these things that have come about. And we were actually just talking about this last night, about technology has changed. You don't have to embrace everything, but you do need to embrace some things. I mean, there's a reason technology exists. And we used to scrub our floors with dishcloths, and now we have mops, and now we have like automated robot mop vacuums. So like those things have progressed, and there's a reason that technology exists within your business, and there's a way to use it right.
Exactly. And think about, so like, I've been spending time investing in a robust CRM program that even will help me build out my coaching community that I'm going to be doing later on, in the fall. I've got I'm actually writing a book that's also going to come out, but like some of the things that I do, I want to create these automation and communities, and I'm building all that through my CRM. And currently right now it's more serving, communicating with my existing clients, having that warm personal touch on like, hey, it's your birthday. We happy birthday, yada, yada, or it's your client anniversary with us, or fight like a big topic right now, because we do everything in my business. And so a big topic right now is ADA compliant websites. And so I'm trying, even though some of my businesses they're a small business, even though they do make some money, there's that threshold. And so I need to be concerned for them right now about that. So now I'm having conversations through my CRM, introducing them to, really what this is, what it means, and that we want to do an audit of their site and they should contact us. And I've got a whole thing built out for it. And that's all automated through the system. And I can track who's clicked on it, who's interested. The conversations that I'm having with my clients are all in this CRM. It's on my cell phone. It connects to my social media channels. So if I'm doing a message, if I have a post and I'm marketing something and I say DM me for more information, it's gonna pop up on my phone right here, and then I could be talking to them while I'm up in Italy. Because that's the real plan, you see, for all of us, is to travel and still do our jobs no matter where we are, whether we're in Bangkok or Utah, right? So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that was me the last couple of months. I was in Bangkok, I was in Japan, I was in Hawaii. I was still working.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you say? Because I know, obviously Amanda and I, and congratulations, Amanda and I are award-winning authors. Between us, wrote 4 books in less than 2 years. Actually, in a year and a half, we wrote our 4 books, 2 together, 1 each separately. So congratulations. But I know, and Amanda and I have talked about this a lot, but back when I bought a franchise, when I originally got into officially coaching and consulting and training 15 years ago, one of the things that we would ask our clients, or we were taught to ask our clients, is what is your marketing budget? And they would ask us, and most people would be like, marketing budget, like what's that? And even now today, like we ask our clients, like, what's your marketing budget? What's this? What's that? And so how do you typically navigate that? Because I feel like, especially a lot of new people, like, new to entrepreneurship, that don't like understand where all the expenses could go, right? So they're learning entrepreneurship, small business ship, and they're navigating this. They might not understand the value of a marketing budget and really the biggest bang for the buck that they can get. So how do you navigate that typically?
So first and foremost, it is a challenge when I do work with a client. It's funny. I had this conversation yesterday morning, probably in 24 hours from like in a half an hour being the same, like I had this conversation. I have a new client that got onboarded. They're a manufacturer, super nice company. And I asked her, what's your marketing budget to work with us? Because they need a whole litany of, they're a manufacturer that doesn't have a marketing department at all. And a manufacturer that makes products in the industries I serve, you kind of need a proper marketing department. Most people can't afford one. Okay. So, and I know everything they need. And for her, it was, she just did not know. And she needed to ask, because I know what my rate is, and I know, and we can have a whole list of the things they need to get done. And I, as a smart, educated business person, can work inside of someone's budget to achieve all their goals. If I know, here's your hot ticket items, here's your future goals. And even like, they don't even have product imagery, right? Like their stuff is old. They don't have any 3D models. They even have AutoCAD drawings of their products. And I'm thinking, I just know so much. So, sometimes you need to spell out black and white what people need. And sometimes they don't realize like what would go inside a marketing budget. It would even include kind of software fees that you use. So say like you want to try to do it yourself, and you're going to volunteer your executive assistant or your marketing assistant or whomever inside your business to help you achieve these goals. Those software fees, even for the Adobe creative fees, those alone go into your marketing budget, because those are the costs associated with developing anything. So even if you're like, I don't need any money for marketing, well, you need the basics, and the basics are software, and there's only so many freebies you're going to get online, and there's only so many Canva templates you're going to be able to use that are going to work for you because you're going to look like everybody else, right? And so even those are the basics. And then understanding how much time's involved and the benefits of it, and like the benefits of why you'd want to do that, and spending time researching what your competition's doing and how they're doing it and how you could do it, and what those numbers look like. Even if you start off small, even if you just make a commitment to one post a week, you've got to start someplace with your online conversation for the algorithm to even know who the heck you are. You can't post every 3 months and think anyone's going to see you. I got 2 interactions. Well, no one knows who the heck you are because you're not investing any time, energies, and money. And as you're thinking, because I encounter this a lot, people that don't invest in marketing don't think about having a marketing budget, thinking that your salespeople are going to do your online marketing for you. Because I see this. Wouldn't you want your salespeople to be closing these $500,000, $1 million deals like in the lanes I am? You know what I'm talking about. Don't you want them closing that? Why? Not that it's a waste of time, but it is. It is. And I think that people don't see things correctly, and they think they're going to save money by having another team member do an action, do a job that's really, frankly, beneath them, not because we're not all too good to roll up our sleeves, but it's because their time is better served going after and chasing the bigger sales. And I think that as business owners, they all are on a quest to save money, and we think we're doing it, and we're not going to have a marketing budget because we don't need one. But even if you don't understand it and throw $200 a month in your marketing budget to start, and you don't use it, you've got to start somewhere, because everybody, no matter what it is, even if you don't have a marketing budget and you're on LinkedIn and you have their upgraded like premium subscription, that's part of a marketing budget. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think you bring up a lot of good points. And one of the main ones, and Amanda and I talk about this a lot, is you have to have a basic understanding. You don't have to, but it would be beneficial for you to have a basic understanding of certain aspects. And a lot of times people lump things all together, and what happens is it muddies the water. You don't understand where your efforts are going. You don't understand where your investments are going, time, monies, effort, whatever. And I think that's one really good point. And I do love that you said, because I actually literally just put a pause with one of my larger clients because I was working with their new business development people, and essentially they were like giving the new business development people all of this additional stuff, including marketing, including design, like designing the PowerPoints, designing all this other stuff. And I understand that it needed to be done. However, you're diluting the efforts, you're taking away their energy, you're distracting them. They're not able to focus in on exactly what you hired them to do, which is sales. Business development is sales. It's a fancy word for sales. Let them go out there and just sell. Do not give them anything else. And being a seasoned salesperson, like, I understand the power of like being just unleashed and being able to sell and not have to worry about, doing this or doing that, or trying to even find leads, even though I was a door knocker and all the other stuff I didn't mind. But still, like, you brought up 2 really, really good points. Understand what marketing is and kind of don't bento box it all together. And then also like utilize the resources that you have in the smart way. And marketing is an essential part to help build the sales department. But if the marketing is being done by the sales department, you're diluting the sales efforts.
I have an even worse case scenario. If one of my clients that I built, they insisted on a WordPress site, their sales guy is managing it. And I'm like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, I've done WordPress before, it's been years, but I'm fine. And I'm like, so that's the worst case scenario.
Oh, mine
down
was
to
that too.
your sales. Oh, that's terrible. I don't get it. Why would you take your best sales tool and have them dilute their time on something so beneath them?
Yeah, I think it's lack of understanding, sometimes lack of leadership, but also like, all hands on deck kind of mentality, like that, like linear leadership or that flat leadership type of, or flat workmanship kind of mentality. I don't know. What do you think, Amanda? I
Well,
know
I think it's, I mean, I think that we fall into this idea of, oh, I can do it, so I'm going to do it to save money.
facts.
And just because you are capable physically of doing something, just because they could do WordPress and had done it before, doesn't mean that's the best use of their time and the best use of the money that you're putting into them. Because a lot of people can wear a lot of hats, but should they be? When
Yeah.
you're thinking about the efficiency of your business, maybe as the CEO and the owner, there are hats you have to wear. But when you hire somebody and you're delegating and you're outsourcing, are you going to get the most for that employment if you are diluting what they're doing? Just because they have more than one skill set doesn't mean they need to use every single skill set they have in your business, because it can backfire on you and have less result than what you were hoping you would get from that delegation, from that outsourcing.
I agree. Inside of my business in particular, because we handle so many different types of work, I call them lanes. So, I've got a creative lane where I've got a team that runs in that lane, right? Website falls under there because I have one team member that deals with web and she's also creative. So she's dual, but that works there in that space. And then I have a whole different lane for social media. And then as I build out training components inside of my business, I'll have a different lane for that too, because I realize that it's everyone, we as individuals, we do better doing a singular task. We're going to do that singular task really well. And I don't think we as humans anymore in our society have the ability to multitask as good as we used to. I know I don't. I used to be able to juggle 55 hats. Not anymore, because I realized how much I diluted myself. And so I'm not interested in offering any diluted versions of me or my team or the work that we produce for anyone that I serve. So really good points.
Mic drop. I love that. We are not serving diluted selves anymore. So deuces.
Makes a lot of it just makes a lot of sense, right? So
No,
It
absolutely.
does. It does. And I think it's not that you can't, I mean, you're saying that it's not that you can't have more than one task within your business or give somebody more than one task. It's when you give them something that's outside of the scope of what they really should be doing. Because, if you give somebody social media and you say, I want you to work on Instagram, it's not that big of a stretch to say, I also want you to work on Facebook. I mean, that's staying within your realm of, with your zone of genius. But if you're switching around and being like, okay, you do social media, well, I also want you to run the marketing department. Oh, and then can you help with sales, and the advertising needs some help too? Like, just because you have the skill set doesn't mean that that's going to really pan out for you in the long run. And yeah, we don't want to dilute our services, ourselves, what we're doing, because ultimately that isn't going to showcase your business. And that's what you do.
correct, exactly. Another thing I learned too is being a small business owner is that we're all eager to create new opportunities and lanes of income for ourselves and be of service to our clients. So I'm guilty of trying to try too many new things at once. So I recommend anyone starting with your business, if you focus on the lane, I know, right? Me, focus on the lanes that you're making a lot of money in right now, and just make them really, really profitable. Because I've had to put down some swords for a couple things that I really wanted to do, but it wasn't resonating. And by the way, and it's also okay to make a mistake and realize that, oh, that didn't work, and it's not a reflection on you or you're a failure or any of those things. We're just you can't grow as a business owner unless you try new things and pivot and grow and be okay with making mistakes, and leave your ego at the door, leave your emotions at the door, right? You just do better as a human being, right, Amanda? You leave
Oh,
those
100%.
emotions.
100%. You got to leave some stuff at the door. Emotions, we all know how I feel about those. However, I was just talking with a client just the other day, and you do have to pivot. Sometimes you're going to have to take a risk. And, she was asking me, she's like, oh, well, is this a guaranteed is this a guaranteed marketing strategy? Is this a guaranteed advertising strategy? I'm like, well, no, it has a track record of working within your industry, and you have a unique business. So you can't expect that everything is going to be guaranteed. You can't guarantee anything. So what? Death and taxes. That's the only thing you can guarantee. So I think that there's, within the entrepreneurial world, you have to pivot. You have to be okay with making those changes and those failures, because there is no such thing as a guarantee. And if somebody is telling you they're absolutely going to guarantee it, they better back it up with their own work, because if they're going to give you something that's, oh, you do it yourself, I guarantee it. Good luck with that. It's not, I mean, run away very quickly, because if they're not going to help you implement it and they're not going to see it through and pivot within that guarantee, because things come up, like you have to kind of change your tactics as you're figuring something out, particularly with advertising and marketing. There have to be pivots in order to adjust to the market. So be wary of those guarantees, and know that you're going to have to make changes, and you're going to have to fail, and you're going to have to take risks. Welcome to entrepreneurship.
I do the same thing with my clients. Some people will ask me that, and I literally say to them, literally, the work that my team and I invest in creating your content, because we do everything from A to Z in my industry niche. Imagine doing all the technical stuff for these people, that we're a godsend. And I'll tell them literally, we're only going to be as good as your interactions and your team's interaction with our content, because that's an easy way. That's what I don't understand sometimes with these people, but it's an easy way to really get more bang for your buck and really get the algorithm to pick you up, because your team that you're paying money to, your sales team, is engaging, sharing, liking, and putting through that content. That really helps you elevate you. And I don't get why people don't understand that. I don't even know why I said that, but I felt compelled to say it, because I think that's part of the success. And so when people ask me these things, I'll be like, it's a twofold thing. One, it's only going to be as good as that. And two, what you need to realize, and I say this because it triggered something in my industry, on LinkedIn in particular, where I do a lot of business. There is a lot of cyber stalkers, like silent stalkers. They see your posts, they don't comment, like, or engage, but when you see them at an event, or you're communicating with them on a meeting, they know your whole life story, and twice on Sunday, and you're like, you never liked anything I post. So, and if you see that on any of the other social media channels, that's on LinkedIn too, my friends. That is 100% on LinkedIn too.
100%.
You're still seen. And that's another thing that people don't understand, is to build your business and to build your brand. Essentially, you, the owner, the salesperson, the team member, you're a celeb online. You've got to build your personal brand. That's what's going to bring business to the actual business. So you're the bait. I always tell my team, we're on tour together. I'm the rock star. Y'all are my roadies. And my job is I'm the front man. You guys are supporting me behind the scenes, because that's kind of the lay of the land. When you run a business, you need a team. You need the right people. You need to not be afraid to take chances. You need to and appreciate the people that are on your team too. You need a team, and you need a marketing budget, and you need to be brave and take chances.
No,
Don't. No one's gonna.
I love that you say that too. I was just at a big event, and it always fascinates me when people come up to me. I'm like, oh, I know who you are, because I see you on LinkedIn. I'm like, I've never seen you like my post, but it's true. And it's like, and we have this conversation all the time. It's like, it is building the know, like, trust. It is staying in front of mind. And eventually, if you're doing it the right way, or have somebody doing it for you that knows what they're doing, it helps with your conversion. It helps with, also PR stuff, right? So especially like risk management, things like, if shit hits the fan and like, you have to kind of like mitigate things or minimize it. Like if you have a really strong brand out there that's being marketed, and even if people aren't liking, trusting it, like at the end of the day, it is helping you in the right direction. And so you are building, the web in which holds up those businesses, which is interesting.
Exactly.
Love it. All right. So I can't believe we're already almost at time. What's one last nugget that you would love to leave with entrepreneurs? And we have a global audience of entrepreneurs and small business owners and leaders. What's one small nugget you'd like to leave with them?
If you have a business, or if you've ever considered starting a business, I just think that people should not be afraid to take that chance. I think our world is such a way that I think it's more important than ever that we all try to embrace being an entrepreneur. If you have a skill set or something that you're really good at, passionate about, we put our faith in so many other things in this world when we do things. Why don't you put that faith in yourself that you could actually make that thing happen for yourself, or that you could take your business to the next level, right? And if you don't know how to do something, here's the thing. That's great. I want to start this business. I have no idea what to do. Hi, I'm a current business owner, and I really want to get myself out of this revenue hump, and I want to double and triple my business. A lot of us are raised, especially as no plan B'ers. Maybe we should have a t-shirt. I don't have a plan B. We're raised that there's you don't ask for help, you do it yourself. Well, the world's a little bit different. Ask for help. Take that chance on yourself and growing your business or starting that business of yours. And ask for help. Don't be afraid, because if you ask for help and put yourself in circles where you want to actually be starting that business, doing that thing, you'll get it, you'll succeed, and you'll get the help you need. And you're actually not alone out there anymore. There's sources for you to happen. So I just think that we all should not be afraid to bet on ourselves, because people that are famous that we know, Oprah bet on herself. Jon Stewart's back on the Daily Show. That guy keeps betting on himself repeatedly, right? I'm just saying, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself, take that chance, join the community, get in a coaching community. I don't know, buy the program, go back to school, start the business, do the thing that's going to propel you to the next excellent level of your life, and just do it, man. And if you fail, so what? Get up and do it again.
You'll fail differently for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tried at least, right? You can't sit around going, oh, I wish I had started that business. I really wish I went after my passion, and then it's too late because you're in your 80s. Not that it's too late in your 80s, but you're getting there, right? Just take the chance, do it now, man. Just take the chance, do it now. Rip that Band-Aid off.
Love it. Oh, we're all about ripping the Band-Aid off. I love it. And actually, you said something earlier too, that is in alignment with what you just said. And I want to repeat it because Amanda and I talk about it a lot. And you said it earlier about put yourself in a room where you're going to learn. So put yourself in a room where there's people who are smarter than you, that know things that are different than you. So as there are so many people out there, and it's so accessible nowadays versus when we were growing up. So because we didn't have at home computers, we had to click rocks together, all you youngins. You know what I mean?
String.
And
the string with the cup. Yeah, that was our
really, we're not that old. But with that being said, put yourself in a room with people because people love to share their knowledge. And yes, you will have to pay for some, and some you're going to get for free. But if you're not in the room, you're not going to get it. So at least put your butt in the room. So I really appreciate that. We've had such an amazing chat. We just, yeah.
So speaking of reaching out to you more, how can people reach out to you and find you?
Sure. You can find me. LinkedIn is primarily me. So Alicia Branham, I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me on Instagram under The Real Alicia Branham. And then I am on my snarky experimental side on TikTok under Ali Toon. It's where I take out all my childhood aggressions. Some people do that. I know I'm not the only one. So those are the ways to find me. And I love helping other people. And so even if anyone has a question about how I got brave enough to start my own business in my niche, right? I believe everyone's trying to niche down in an area, especially if you're an expert, because take the intellectual property, make money on that. So I can't stress that enough. Value yourself, bet on yourself.
Absolutely.
100%.
It'll all be in the show notes, though. Make sure that you're sharing, liking, subscribing with all of your people. And yeah, thanks again for being on our podcast, The Pursuit of Badasserie, today.
Thank you. You ladies are badass. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Amanda. I'm so grateful for your time today. It's been awesome.
Absolutely. Till next time.
Get after it.
All right, everyone. It's not enough to just listen.
Now you've got to put it into action.
We are so excited to see what you do next.
If you enjoyed our show, please leave us a review on iTunes.
And to find out more about what we're doing, visit us at thepursuitofbadasserie.com.